We're now going to move on to our final speaker of the block. He is the self-professed godfather of Ethereum, and he's also the founder of blockchain startup Aeternity. Please welcome Yanislav Malahov.
Wow. Yeah, many people are leaving to the sunshine. So let's have this last talk for today. My name is Yanni. I'm the founder of Eternity blockchain, also call myself sometimes the godfather of Ethereum because of my early involvement in the Ethereum project. And yeah, today we're here at a Crypto Valley conference. I came today from the crypto country, Liechtenstein. And we're gonna, I wanna show you a little overview, a little update of what we are doing and all these different projects which we have started. This update will not be complete at all. I'm gonna miss lots of things, but yeah, let's start. Cool. So I think you have seen this question many times already, but who of you has actually seen this quote? I think it's not too many. It's like maybe 10 people in total. Yeah, but I don't see much because of the light. So yeah, it's a quote of the original Bitcoin white paper and essentially describes the blockchain as a distributed timestamp server where the blocks get linked by hashing them together. And then the next point 4, the proof of work gets introduced, and this is widely seen as the main innovation of Bitcoin, or generally what blockchain is made out of. So yeah, in the original sense, proof of work was super crucial for a blockchain. And yeah, we are Eternity, we are also a blockchain. We have also proof of work. We're also public and permissionless, and obviously open source. So it's a public good what we are building. And we want to solve different aspects of current blockchain technology. One of the most important things is the scalability. So how many transactions can we do per minute or per second? I'm gonna talk deeper about most of the topics in a bit. What we also want to solve is the governance. How do we make collective decisions together? How do we vote on a blockchain? How do we express our opinion? And how do we synchronize essentially such a big global network, which a blockchain can be, to make better decisions together? Then the usability is also one really important aspect. So we focus on the mobile-first approach, so that people can just use their smartphones in order to start transacting, in order to start accepting transactions and sending them and participating in the global economy. Then one core aspect is also one core feature are the oracles, the interface with the real world data. We have oracles as essentially as first-class citizens in our system. It's not anything anymore which you need to add to this. So it's a more complete approach to the technology. And also super important is the security of the smart contract. So this is why we're working on not just one new smart contract language, but actually 2. One of them is a functional language. The other one doesn't have Turing completeness. So the functional aspect of the first language, which we call Sophia, makes it easier to prove certain things about smart contracts, and it's kind of like more difficult to do mistakes and lose tokens. So. We also call the applications or the smart contracts on Eternity, we call them apps. So there's this play with this AE symbol. And generally, they should be decentralized and distributed, so they shouldn't run on a server. The blockchain actually becomes the back end here, you could say. We want to have everything encrypted by default, not optional encrypted, but by default encrypted. And yeah, it should be also tamper-proof. But this is, yeah, clear for blockchain. And I've talked, I think, about the other things here. So where are we right now? Okay, the numbers are slightly wrong already. So the development is just about to essentially to reach the mainnet launch, so the code freeze, and we're doing the security review as we're speaking right now here. We started this, and in August we'll launch the mainnet when things go well. So there will be a new scalable blockchain in August. Technologies which we're using are Erlang. Erlang is a over 30-year-old programming language from the telecommunication industry, which was made to power highly distributed applications, telephone switches, for example. So things which are not supposed to go down. You don't want to lose the connection, the phone connection of thousands of users who are getting routed through your switch. And we have an alternative implementation in Elixir. Elixir is kind of like a hipster brother of Erlang, runs on the same virtual machine. It's yeah, kind of more modern language though. We also need to use JavaScript. Nowadays no way around JavaScript, especially if you also want to have some sort of web interface, web application, mobile application. All our code is on GitHub, and yeah, Python also gets used, but not so important. Yeah, Erlang. 30 years ago, 3 guys started working on Erlang at Ericsson. We hired one of them, so one of the original creators of Erlang is working to build a new, or to build a piece of our core blockchain, specifically our virtual machine and the new programming language, Sophia, which I'm going to talk a little bit in a bit. So yeah, as you see, Erlang is perfect to write distributed, fault-tolerant, soft, real-time, highly available, non-stop applications. You can even swap codes while the application is running. Pretty cool. And yeah, companies which use Erlang, you also see here, for example, also WhatsApp. I think they had about 9 developers and over 1 billion users. Pretty amazing. Then, mobile first approach, I'll rather show you something. So, this is the base app. It's kind of like our app store. You can, yeah, you can try out different apps. It's kind of live on apps.com at the moment, although we are migrating right now from the ERC20 token Ethereum to our new blockchain, so there might be some issues with the functionality at the moment. We'll be working soon again with our mainnet though. And yeah, you can manage different identities. And for example, this is a proof of existence app which allows you to insert a hash of whatever document you like with a mobile, nice mobile conversational interface into the blockchain. Then a transfer app. It's kind of like our wallet app where you can transfer funds from one address to another address. Yeah, how do we want to solve scalability? We have 2 very important features or things we're working on for Aeternity. One is the so-called state channels. And state channels work in a very similar way how, let's say, paper contract system, including the public court system works. So the public court would be the blockchain in our sense, and you do contracts between the counterparties. You only insert essentially a proof of the contract with one transaction, one single transaction to people to open up a state channel with a smart contract, and then as long as the smart contract or as long as the people, the counterparties do whatever the smart contract tells them to do, it's trustless because you can let this enforce any time on the blockchain, on the public blockchain. We are today at the the Scalability and I think microtransactions session. And this is super useful for microtransactions. So you can have essentially infinite amount of transactions, only limited by the bandwidth. In such a state channel, of course, also limited by the speed of light, and you need to increase the nonce every time you change something. So there are theoretical limits, but yeah, as long as both parties don't cheat, it shouldn't happen that often because you can't really run away from what the smart contract says you should do. Then we hope that the scalability or the amount of transactions will grow at least with a factor of hundreds x, if not even more. So assuming that 1% of the contracts need to be written to the blockchain. As a side effect also, the smart contracts can stay private, which is super important for businesses who don't want to expose their business logic to the world every time they do a contract. But yeah, in case there's disagreement, you publish the last date, you publish the contract, and then it gets enforced. So very similar how a public court system works. In reality, it's a little bit more complicated. So this is our state channel protocol overview. You can look it up on GitHub. And yeah, I would also love to see some contributions or some comments on this if you have. Yeah, next topic is the governance, which we think improve a lot through weighted delegated voting, meaning that everybody who has a token can vote with the weight of their, or the amount of their tokens in public elections or yeah, votes. Yeah, to participate in this global discussion in a proven way, so in a proven and tamper-proof way, so that it's on the blockchain. The vote will be counted, and it's totally transparent for everybody, even for the people who don't participate in the votes. And yeah, you can also delegate your vote to somebody who you think will make a better decision than you are able to. And also, for example, if you want to be more private, you would just delegate it to your favorite best friend and tell nobody about this, and nobody could say that you voted like this or not. But, yeah. All right, so this is possibly a little bit too technical here. Who of you has developed a smart contract? Ah. Okay, I think about the same amount who read the original Bitcoin quotes. That makes sense. Yeah, so we're working on Sophia and FTW VM and the Varna and HLM. And there will be also a way how to port Solidity smart contracts to our AVM, as we call it, which is kind of like a more safe EVM because certain things are not allowed. And yeah, the FTW VM is a complete new thing, though. So yeah, let's skip the oracles. Yeah, we have also oracles as a first-class object, so that you can yeah, query Oracle results in a well-defined way in a smart contract and let the smart contract then work with it. This improves readability, but also then as an effect, scalability, and you can also do certain reasoning about the type of the Oracle result, for example. So generally, it's a good thing, we think, and yeah, there's more. I mean, there's also the naming system, which is kind of like there's a first-class object in the smart contract language in Sophia, and tokens will be also a first-class object. So we will not need to store some variables in a, I don't know, in an array or in a map. You can just use it out of the box inside the programming language, and this increases again a lot the readability and also the reasoning about what state a smart contract could or should have. So the cuckoo cycle is our proof of work. So in the original sense, a blockchain needs to have blocks chained by proof of work hashes. We have not exactly hashing here. We have a graph algorithm, so you solve a different mathematical puzzle, which potentially could have some positive side effects, which we don't know yet. But yeah, it's also memory hard, and it's supposed to be quite ASIC resistant. The guy who invented this proof of work algorithm, a couple of days ago, he posted a better version of this in our forum. If you're technical, you might want to look it up at forum.aeternity.com. It's kind of like a generalization, and it's meant to be even harder to do ASIC, so dedicated hardware to do the mining. Yeah, naming system, mentioned this already, but yeah, isn't it crazy that we're still copying and pasting all the time people's addresses or hashes around, like as developers or as users scanning QR codes? Here the usability can be improved many times, I think, or we think in general. So we need to have one global unique naming system. This is why we build it in from the beginning. It will be also hierarchical at the following steps. We have a really big team of over 300 years of total programming experience already. It's an estimate. I think over 150 years of Erlang experience, and yeah, there are serial entrepreneurs and also cryptocurrency veterans involved, and we're now building up our ambassador program, so you can join us if you like, wherever you are in the world, to become an ambassador and organize a local meetup. And yeah, this worked very well during our campaign, to be honest. So these decentralized meetups, very nice. And generally, we are. I mean, it started with a company which is like bootstrapping this business out of Liechtenstein for the world. The development of the core blockchain gets mainly done in Sweden and Poland, and yeah, these are the two main countries for the Erlang development part, as well as here developer, there developer, there developer. But yeah, then our apps team is mainly based in Berlin, as well as we have a small Swiss team which is working on the most secure air-gapped offline cold storage wallets. Yeah, some of them are here today. Where's papers? Over there. Cool. Yes. So yeah. Check it out, airgap.it. It's air-gapped mobile wallets, and as long as you never go online, your private key cannot leak, because the transactions get only transferred via scanning and QR codes over the display in the camera. So it's pretty neat. This is a small part of our team in Liechtenstein. I think the mountains in the background are already Switzerland. And you see a little bit of the Rhine. This was this winter. And yeah, we have also opened a new co-working space for blockchain startups in Liechtenstein in Vaduz. It looks much better than on picture already. This was at the beginning. And yeah, we had a opening ceremony, and yeah, the Prime Minister of Liechtenstein came to visit us. Pretty cool. We're working with this on this with Thomas Nägele, who is also on this picture on the right of the unicorn. Yeah. So yeah, a crypto law firm also involved. Then also based in Liechtenstein, as well as with a chapter in Bulgaria, is a charitable crypto foundation, Aeternity Crypto Foundation, which we are funding to help do research, and we will offer student scholarships and community events, and general open source developers will also be supported. Not if you work as a contractor, but if you're contributing as an open source developer, just because you like or love what you do, you will be supported by the Crypto Foundation. And there will be other things. For example, also we're now doing a pilot in Varna as part of the Smart City projects to track street dogs with blockchain collars. Yeah, I don't know what to think about this, but it's happening. Then last week in Sofia, we had our incubator workshop. We selected 10 teams out of 17, 3 of them out of Africa, which 2 of them are remotely connected, as you see in the background, to become part of the first applications which we're gonna support to build on top of Aeternity. This program will continue. It was a great success. Also here, same group of people. And generally, I checked yesterday our Twitter. We seem to go to lots of events. Yeah, hello Zook. I hope you're enjoying this talk. Here's a community member who created a ring and earring out of our logo. Some art got created, and there's more stuff. I was not able to find it. So people have lots of fun around the world with our logo and with the stuff we are building. If you want to know more, especially if you want to write an app, go to apps.com, aepps.com. We have also components.aepps.com, where app components can be, you can look at them and then you can essentially reuse the code in order to build your apps faster, so you don't need to design all these different components like buttons and stuff like this from the ground up. And if you're a developer, also check out dev.apps.com. Our GitHub is one of the most active in the cryptocurrency space, and here are 9 other links to GitHub repositories. Very important is the protocol repository. So if you want to know more about Aeternity, please, the white paper is a little bit outdated. Check out the protocol repository, which is way more up to date. Our reference implementation is currently in the Epoch repository. The Elixir node is in the Elixir node repository. Then, there are more. Check it out. And if you generally have questions, you can try to find me after this talk, or you go to the forum, forum.aeternity.com, to become also a member of our community, ask questions, be critical, do suggestions, help out, whatever you like. And there are also other channels like Reddit, Telegram, Facebook, LinkedIn. And we finally got our name on Twitter for, I think now, a month or so. Cool. Yeah. All right. I think this was my little introduction to the incomplete introduction to Aeternity, to the ecosystem we are building. Are there more questions? Do you like to ask me something? I can't see you really, so if you have a question, just say something. All right, no questions. Cool. Then thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this, and have a good evening.